So when I was asked to talk in October, um, I looked at the theme the, of the 12 powers of man, the unity theme of the month, and it was zeal. And then things happened, and now I end up talking in November where the theme is release. So what I decided to do is to blend the theme of zeal and release. So in October, the first thing I did is I went to my cousin Google. We all know him, don't we? And I punched in, what does zeal mean? Because zeal is not a word that we use in our everyday language. It's kind of a, a pretty impressive word. So what my cousin told me, he said, great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or objective. I thought, well, that's definitely unity. There's no doubt about it. And then he went out of control. He went crazy with a list of synonyms. I wrote down a few. Now, I want you to listen to these words. A synonym to zeal is committedness, ardor, and pardon my French accent, you know what I mean? Ardeur, en français. Love, fervor, fire, avidity, fondness, devotion, eagerness, keenness, appetite, taste, relish, gusto, vigor, verve, zest, ardency. My goodness, I said to my cousin Google, okay, you're too much, we don't need all this. So if I'm to summarize all this, one word summarizes all these beautiful words, and that is attitude. Zeal is an attitude. And to explain that differently, I will tell you a story. It's a true story, an adventure that took place when I was in construction. And as I tell you the story, I want you to think about all these words and the word zeal and see for yourself where it fits in. The story is about I was assigned to build or to demolish an old bridge over railroad tracks in the little village of Deux-Rivières, Ontario. Like it's a little dot on the map, right? And then I was to build a new bridge in its place. And there was also another part of that project was to build what they call a multi-plate culvert. So it's a huge culvert that goes under a highway to allow a stream of water to go through. And then at the last minute, the company I worked for, W.D. Laflamme, said, Claude, we don't have the biggest budget for this project, and you're going to have to hire local labor to do it. And whenever it's necessary, we'll send you some guys that have the expertise in certain parts of it. Oh, I thought that's going to be interesting. I said, okay. So I get to Deux-Rivières. Late in the afternoon, I post an ad in the local post office general store, which was a quarter of this room here. And I said, hiring men to build a bridge, hiring laborers and carpenters to build a bridge. And I put that there. The next morning, 6 big men show up at my construction trailer. 6 big men. It seemed like there was one guy who was the leader of the pack, and he had a great big black mustache, and they called him Mustache. I don't know what his name was. I don't remember what it was. All I know, his name was Mustache. So Mustache did all the talking. We're coming to look, and they were all French, by the way, so I'm not going to talk French because you're not going to get what the hell's happening. So Mustache says, we saw your advertisement in the post office, and we're looking for work. I said, okay. I said, do you know anything about building formwork? Formwork? What's that? Oh. Do you know anything about tying rebar? Rebar? What's that? Oh, okay. Do you know anything about pouring concrete? You pour concrete? Oh boy, here's my local labor. Oh my goodness. And I could see all his friends in the background kind of, thinking. I could tell, I could see what they were thinking. They were thinking, oh, we're not going to get this job. That's for sure, because we don't know any of that stuff, you know. Then I looked at Mustache and I said, okay. I said, if you guys have a willingness to learn, I have a willingness to teach. Because it really wasn't that complicated. And you see their tenor changed. You see all the stress being released from their shoulders, and they had a job. My goodness, that was good. And I could tell that these guys really had integrity, they were workers, and they were ready to learn. So I took them all to the site of the multi-plate culvert, and I got them started there. And I took two of them to start breaking the concrete on the slab of the bridge with air hammers to show them how to hook those things up, and making a lot of noise all day long, and brum, 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 breaking the concrete. So a week or so went by, and things are going just fine, going very well, actually. And this guy, as I'm in my office doing some paperwork, this guy pulls in with a pickup truck. Real fast, brakes on, and then he has a welding machine and acetylene and oxygen cutting torches in the back of his truck. And he walks into the trailer and he says, I'm looking for work. I said, what kind of work are you looking for? He says, anything at all. I need a job. I said, I see a welding machine and cutting torches in the back of your truck. Yeah, he says, I'm a welder. Well, I said, I got work for you. Bring your truck at the top of the hill over there, just behind the bridge, and we're going to go take a look at things. So we get up there, and by that time, there was a whole span with the concrete broken out. And I said, you see all these beams? They were caked with rust and paint, like not in good shape at all. I said, do you think you can cut these things off? Oh, yeah, no problem. I said, okay, show me. So he puts on his leather jacket, his welding jacket, puts on his welding gloves, goggles, and I saw him change the tip on the cutting torch to a gouging tip. I thought to myself, this guy knows what he's doing. Starts his torches and cuts the first beam. Excellent, excellent work. Well, I said, you got yourself a job, my friend. What I want you to do, I want you to cut off these beams that are going this way. And I introduce him to Mr. Lamotte. Mr. Lamotte was hired by the railroad because he was there to make sure that it was safe to come through under this bridge while it's under demolition and the other one under construction. And there were trains coming through every hour on the hour. So Mr. Lamotte could call them and say, hey, wait there, or yes, it's safe to come through. And everybody called him Choo Choo Lamotte. And he was quite okay with that, quite okay with that. So I said, when you're ready to let the beam fall to the ground, look at Mr. Lamotte and he will tell you if it's safe to do that, because sometimes dogs came running through, or, local people are curious to see what's going on. They have no business there, but the next thing you know, there's somebody lurking around the corner. And I don't want a beam to fall on top of their head. So Mr. Lamotte and Harry got into good communication, and away we go. And I said to Harry, I said, I'm going to go down to the other site, see how the other guys are doing, and I'll come back around noon to see how you're doing. I come back around noon, and I look, and my goodness gracious, all the beams I had asked him to cut were cut. They were on the ground. I was impressed, very impressed. And I said, Harry, wow, you're moving, man. He says, and I said, how do you feel? Oh, he says, I don't know, boss. He said, I was cutting, and all of a sudden, the ridge kind of went down. And I could hear some quick, quick, quick. And I looked, and he had cut the main truss in one corner. And this bridge was creeping to eventually collapse. Oh, my goodness. I said, Harry, put your torches away right now. Go in the yard, bring all that lumber up here. And I rushed over to the other site, and I said, Mustache, I have an emergency. I need you to drop all this stuff. There's no time for lunch. Take your men, go in the bush, bring me back 6 spruce trees, 20 feet long, 10-inch in the small end. Oh, yeah, boss. No questions asked. The way they go. And I said to my crane operator, bring your crane over at the bridge because we've got something to deal with there. Within the hour, Mustache was back with his 4 men. They had 6 spruce trees like I asked. And then I showed them how to stand them up below the truss that was creeping to collapse. We set up a temporary support, if you like. They braced it all together as I told them, as I showed them to do, and then shimmed it up, and there we were. Everything was safe again. And Mr. Lamotte, you can let your train go through now. There's no danger. Then I turned to Mustache and his friends, and I said, you guys saved the day. I have never had workers like you doing so well. And they were proud. He went like that. And then I turned to Harry, and my face changed. Well, Harry was in trouble, he thought. And I didn't have a chance to place a word. He started, I'm sorry, boss, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I'm sorry. I said, Harry, shut up. Take it easy. I said, I can tell that you have a passion for the work that you do. And I can also tell that you have initiative. And you were done what I asked you to do, and you carried on. And now look what happened. I said, do you understand that this is not a place for initiative? Do you understand that it's important that you do only the thing that you cut, only the things I asked you to cut, so that everything is safe? Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Well, I said, if you understand that and you're willing to do that, then you have a job until this one is over. Oh, thank you, boss. Thank you, boss. And the guy was literally crying, you know. So in the story, you can see the blend of zeal. Harry had zeal. He had passion. He had everything, all the words that were listed that Cousin Google told us about. He had the right attitude. But then again, there's a place for that. I remember back in my own life, and we all go through this, zeal applies to everything, even the negative stuff. Oh my goodness. We can be zealous around being negative about what happens in our life. We can be zealous about being in victimhood. I know, because I've been there. But then, lucky enough, there was somebody to shake me out of that and to say, hey, victimhood is not a good place to be. And I knew they were telling me the truth. And then I shook out of it. And through life, we all encounter these negative times, and we get sort of pulled into them, whether we like it or not. And we become actually sometimes passionate about being there, hoping that somebody's going to take pity of us or is going to say, poor you, this type of stuff. There's juice to that, There's a passion in that. So let's be aware. The purpose of my story, the purpose of what I tell you today, is to create an awareness about being passionate. Let's be passionate at deflecting negativity. Let's be passionate about the things we love to do, because that's where zeal belongs. I can tell why Fillmore, Charles Fillmore, chose those two themes as powers of men, powers of people, because they are. They really are. And let's be aware that they do blend together. Let's be aware that, you know, zeal is really simple. A lot simpler than what my cousin Google thought it was. Zeal is simply about doing what we love doing in the best way that we can do it. That's it. It's no more complicated than that. So if we do that with our lives, we do everything that we can, that we know how to do, and we do it the best that we can, that is zeal. And nothing will really, really go wrong. If things do go astray and we encounter negativity, we know that the word is there for us. Release. Let that go, mister. Let that go. Yes. I think at Unity, those are, this is part of the main teaching. And it's really a lot of wisdom in that. So I hope that my story kind of illustrated that. It kind of showed you how simple it is, how it happens in the middle of our work, in the middle of our life, without us even being aware of it. It was years after that I compared what happened in that story to the word zeal and release. But it happens to us every day. So let's be aware of that.